News Channel 5 this morning.
Good morning. Two big breaking stories this morning. A deadly accident leaves one worker dead at the Nissan plant in Smyrna.
And a cargo ship slams into a Kentucky bridge. Repairs could take years. We have crews live on both of these breaking scenes.
News Channel 5's Tim Wetzel is monitoring the scene of that bridge collapse at the Kentucky Lake. We've got the latest from him in just a moment. We also begin, though, with Janet Kim. She's live at the scene of that deadly accident at the Nissan plant. Janet?
Well, Steve, I just got a new update from Nissan representatives who tell me that it might be a while before they can release any more details of exactly what happened. But what we do know, if you take a look at this video, it all happened right before 1:30 this morning. We are told that the Smyrna Fire Department was called out here to the scene. We did see them earlier today. We spoke to the Director of Human Resources with Nissan, who confirmed that there was some sort of accident at the vehicle assembly plant that resulted in the death of a logistics company employee. Now, Smyrna Police Department, they tell us that the employee is a driver with an outside company and makes deliveries, that somehow, though, he was hit by that delivery truck, possibly the size of a semi. Now, back out live here at the Nissan plant, they have not released the identity of this employee quite yet. We are told they're trying to contact the next of kin at this time. We've also been told that proper authorities have been called out. There are going to be several investigative agencies that will be determining exactly what happened if all the proper procedures were taken here at the plant. For now, we are live here in Smyrna. Janet Kim, News Channel 5 HD.
Janet, thank you.
And now to that breaking news in Kentucky. Emergency crews still on the scene of that massive bridge collapse that's along the Trigg Marshall County lines.
That collapse was at the Egner Ferry Bridge at U.S. Highway 68 and Kentucky Highway 80. News Channel 5's Tim Wetzel live on the scene for us this morning with the latest. And Tim, we understand there's some very lucky people this morning.
Yes, it's amazing that nobody was hurt, that everyone survived this incident. You know, there was 4 cars on this bridge when suddenly it started to collapse. These people were able to stop their cars just feet before plunging into the water. The Coast Guard is talking to the captain and his crew, trying to figure out why this huge ship hauling rocket parts slammed into the Egner's Ferry Bridge. The impact caused a large section of the span to come crashing down. 4 drivers happened to be on the bridge at the time, but were able to stop before going over the edge.
They were able to stop prior to any collision or any incident. They were able to then warn other motorists on both sides of the bridge, and they were able to exit, with the assistance of law enforcement, exit the bridge safely.
The Delta Mariner had a crew of 20 people. None were injured. Kentucky State Police say the ship was way too tall and way too big to even attempt to go under the bridge. They believe high water levels on the lake may have played a role in the accident. Also, some reports say the navigation lights on the span were out, making the bridge hard to see at night. Coast Guard investigators will work throughout the morning to try and piece together what happened to send this nearly 80-year-old steel landmark crashing down. And we just got this picture in. This is of a previous time the Delta Mariner crossed under this bridge. You can look, you can see how tall that ship is and how close it comes to the top of the bridge there. And what we're being told is because of all the rain we've had in recent weeks, the lake level here is extremely high, and investigators think that may have pushed the ship up so that it couldn't clear the bridge and it slammed right into it. There's some questions now why the captain didn't know that. Maybe the crew wasn't familiar with this waterway or didn't know that the water levels were that high. It's something the Coast Guard is definitely looking into this morning, something we're going to stay on top of and bring you more details as the morning goes on. For now, we're live here in Trigg County, Kentucky. Tim Wetzel, News Channel 5 HD.
All right, Tim, thanks. And we want to give you a little background on this bridge. The Egner Ferry Bridge was built back in 1932. This is a picture from the actual ribbon cutting to open the bridge. It was shut down a decade later in 1943 so that it could be raised up to make room for Kentucky Lake. It reopened 6 months later. Now, work had been slated to begin today to make repairs to some of the lighting on the bridge, but officials say lights were working on the bridge last night. That may be key. They say lights were working last night. The Egner Ferry Bridge and another that crosses nearby Lake Barkley, well, they're set to be replaced by 4-lane bridges. It's not clear how those projects now will be impacted. 2,800 vehicles travel across that bridge every day. And this bridge collapse is a reminder of the collapse of the I-35W bridge in Minnesota just a few years ago. That bridge collapsed during the evening rush hour on August 1st of 2007. 13 people were killed in that collapse. 145 people were injured. Here in Tennessee, 7 people were killed when the Hatchie River Bridge collapsed about 50 miles from Memphis back in 1989. And Steve, I know that's one of the stories you covered. You were there not long after that happened.
And like the one last night in Kentucky, that was also at night. And unfortunately, those people did not realize that part of that bridge had collapsed. They went into the water. I was the first reporter on the scene. We used the light from my camera as a rescue unit trying to find some survivors, but 7 people died. But unlike last night, those people just went straight off, and that was blamed on scouring, which led to a complete an overhaul of the whole bridge inspection system in Tennessee. Very fortunate those people last night were able to stop in time.
You are not kidding. They were so lucky, or they could have plunged right into the water. And of course, that's a bridge that I've driven over all my life or ridden over all of my life, so I know it very well. And a lot of people in this area were waiting, anxiously awaiting the bridges to be replaced. And so it's going to be interesting to see if they'll go ahead and knock the whole thing down and just keep people detouring until the new one can be built.
Yeah, you were showing me during a commercial break. I learned to ski just near this bridge on the water right there.
When you look at the picture of the bridge, just to the left. That's right.
Wow. All right. We're going to keep on that story. Live reports, obviously, throughout the morning here on News Channel 5. And, of course, for the latest updates anytime, log on to newschannel5.com.
All right. Right now, we want to get the latest on your forecast, and we'll go straight to Leland right now.
All right, good morning, everybody. Right now around the Mid-South, we've got cloudy skies, a little bit of mist over our area for you this morning. Here in Nashville now, we've got a current temperature reading of 41 degrees for us as we begin the day. Sky 5 is up, and we've got a cloudy sky, a little mist, a couple of pockets where there are some sprinkles out there, but no issues for us this morning, especially versus what we were seeing yesterday morning at this time. From there, let's work our way now to our camera out of Gallatin. 41 at the intersection of Main and Water Street. Around the Mid-South now, temperatures in the upper 30s and lower 40s across the Mid-South. Cooler today versus yesterday. 39 at 8, 45 at noon, 49 at 4 p.m. and a wind northwest to west at around 5 to 10. More weather coming up for you in just a moment, but right now at 6:07, let's head back over to the news desk.
All right, Leland, thank you.
New this morning, a police chase in Marshall County ends with one man in the hospital.
It all started around 8 o'clock last night on the Ellington bypass in Lewisburg. Police tried to pull a man over for a routine traffic stop, but he kept going. We're told the man crossed over Cornersville Road, drove through a field, and then crashed into a creek. Police were able to pull him out. He's being treated at the Marshall Medical Center. The name's not been given out yet, and we still don't know why he was running from the cops in the first place.
And also new for you this morning out of Marshall County, a new search effort to find a man who's been missing for several months. Nearly 80 park rangers combed the Berlin community yesterday looking for 56-year-old Thomas Johnson. He's been missing since August. Family members say his disappearance may stem from a mental condition. The Rangers incorporated a search for Johnson into their regular training exercises. So far, no new evidence has turned up.
Certainly hope he does turn up and he is safe, but what a great idea by Marshall County authorities to use their training exercise to try to find him.
Exactly.
Smart move. All right. 6:08 is their time right now.
We're going to check the roads once again, see if there's any trouble spots. Dave joins us now. Good morning.
Yeah, good. Just a couple. One's down this side of Murfreesboro. The report's brought to you by Carnival Kia, I-24 westbound between Epps Mill Road and Joe B. Jackson Parkway. THP's on that one. They should have that out of the way shortly. A little more information about the detour up around the Egner Ferry Bridge. Of course, that's on the west side of the land between the lakes, and as you cross the river there, it's the Ken Lake State Park on the other side there in Marshall County. But the detour is Highway 435 here through the park up to I-24 on the Trigg County side. On the Marshall County side, it's Highway 641 that takes you up and north and around, or you can just use I-24 if you're going to go around the whole area, but it's going to be a long time. Folks are going to have to get used to that detour before that one gets fixed. We go to Sky 5 HD. They are showing us the south side of town, I-65 around Wedgwood Avenue. A little back up on the ramp there, but not so bad. See the reflections? Roadways are still a little bit wet out there this morning, so be careful. On the TDOT Smartway cam, got a stalled car jamming up the works on I-24. This is right around Haywood Lane. This is reported to be a vehicle that's had some sort of car trouble. And you can see the left shoulder, left lane completely blocked already. We have a very, very slow motion parade headed back toward Antioch for folks coming in I-24 from the southeast side of town. Looks a little better just about everywhere else. This is I-40 around Stewart's Ferry Pike on the east side. No problems there. That is on-time traffic. We're at 6:10 right now. Did I say this report's brought to you by Carnival Kia? It is.
Get that in there. Good morning, everybody. Let's show you what's happening right now from around Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. First up, here it is, Sky 5 for you this morning, and around our area, we are off to a cloudy start for Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, but through the day, the clouds are going to break, and we'll get a little sunshine in our area. This is a look at radar now with a power of 5, not much showing up on Storm 5 HD Doppler. For the ride into school for you this morning, temperatures are now between around 37 and 41, and for the bus ride home a little bit later in the day, we'll notice those temperatures this afternoon working their way into the upper 40s to lower 50s across the Mid-South. Our school of the day from Nashville, the north side, Smithson Craighead Academy, just outside of the Bellshire area. You are our school of the day. 7-day forecast in a moment, but now let's head back over to Stephen Amy.
All right, thank you.
All right, straight ahead, the gloves come off in the latest GOP presidential debate.
We discovered to our shock, Governor Romney owns shares of both Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Have you checked your own investments?
The top two GOP contenders go at each other over investments and the upcoming Florida primary.
Plus, a new option for your breakfast? Yeah, we can have you running for the border. We'll explain. But first, here's Dave.
Past the Huevos Rancheros. 6:11 right now. Let's check in with Chris Bostic in Sky 5 HD.
Hey, good morning, Dave, and good morning to you. You know, it is flea market weekend in Nashville, and it's all taking place at the Tennessee State Fairgrounds. Dealers come from all over the country to sell their products, and savvy bargain hunters can find some really good deals. Looking for a hard-to-find antique? Well, this is the place to be. Hey, it runs today and through Sunday, so you might want to check it out. I'm Chris Bostic of Carnival Kia, joining you live this morning from Sky 5 in high definition.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Most of the Republican presidential hopefuls will keep pushing for those votes in Florida today. Last night, they met for their final debate before Tuesday's big primary.
Frontrunners Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney clash constantly over everything from personal finances to illegal immigration. Susan McGinnis has more from Jacksonville.
I think you should apologize for it.
Mitt Romney launched his assault right from the start.
That's simply inexcusable. That's inexcusable.
Blasting Newt Gingrich for calling him the most anti-immigrant candidate on stage.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not anti-immigrant. My father was born in Mexico. My wife's father was born in Wales. They came to this country. The idea that I'm anti-immigrant is repulsive. Don't use a term like that.
But Gingrich wouldn't let up, accusing Romney of investing in the same mortgage firms that helped trigger the housing crisis.
We discovered to our shock, Governor Romney owns shares of both Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Have you checked your own investments? You also have investments through mutual funds that also invest in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Right.
The candidates have a lot riding on Florida. The winner of Tuesday's primary takes all 50 of the state's delegates, giving that person a big boost.
The bigger issue here is these two gentlemen who are out distracting from the most important issues we have by playing petty personal politics.
Rick Santorum urged the frontrunners to focus on the issues, but the bickering continued when it came to Gingrich's idea of setting up a permanent base on the moon.
If I had a business executive come to me and say they wanted to spend a few $100 billion to put a colony on the moon, I'd say you're fired.
You don't just have to be cheap everywhere. You can actually have priorities to get things done.
I don't think we should go to the moon. I think we maybe should send some politicians up there at times.
The jabs are expected to continue through the weekend as the candidates make their final push to win over voters. In Jacksonville, Susan McGinnis, News Channel 5 HD.
President Obama, meantime, is touring the country this morning. Last night, he stopped in Nevada and Colorado as part of his 5-state re-election tour. During the visit, he showed off a natural gas refueling station in Las Vegas. He told the group that his administration will soon open up millions of acres in the Gulf of Mexico for exploration and development. The president thinks it might result in a lot more production of domestic energy.
right. Everybody's looking at the forecast for the weekend.
Things are seasonable temperatures really for the weekend. As we go through tonight, there is a little system that's going to come in here. It doesn't have a lot of moisture with it, but maybe just enough for a few sprinkles out there. Maybe a few flurries in the area. Yeah,
I know.
Let's show you what's going on right now around Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. The morning is off to a cloudy start, although in West Tennessee and in Western Kentucky, the clouds have started to break your way. Here's a look at the forecast for today. 9 a.m. 41, at noon today 45, at 3 p.m. right around the 49-degree mark. Here is the scene now from Sky 5 overlooking downtown Nashville, and the flags there flying in the wind atop the William Snodgrass Tennessee Tower. Cloudy conditions across the Mid-South. There have been some pockets of mist, but the rain for the most part has now made its way east of our area. I'll show you what's going on now with the power of 5 radar scanning the skies of the Mid-South out of High Top, Nashville, Memphis, Paducah, and Louisville. At this point, nothing going on, just a little mist here and there, but no major concerns across the Mid-South. Here's a look at the radar in motion now for the past several hours. We'll go back about 4 or 5 hours ago, and you can see what's left of those showers gradually pulling on out of the Mid-South. Cold front yesterday, that in an area of low pressure brought the rain, brought a couple of thunderstorms to the area, but this thing is now to our east. There's another fast-moving system that will dive our way overnight tonight. That's the other one that brings in just a little bit of a moisture chance. Now, Exact Track may be overdoing the amount of moisture here, but maybe just enough around daybreak or just after daybreak for a few sprinkles or maybe a couple of passing flurries. For today, look for a high of about 50 and a wind northwest at about 5 to 10. Tomorrow, 47, 49 on Sunday, 55 on Monday, 58 Tuesday, and a high of around 60 on a Wednesday. I want to show you our weather artist for today. Weather art comes to us from Tyson Speck. Tyson is a second grader in Miss Samantha's classroom at A.H. Roberts over in Livingston, Tennessee. Also, good morning to everybody at Spring Station Middle School. That is down in the Spring Hill area. Had a chance to go over and talk to them about the weather and about what we do here in the Weather Center. They had lots of good questions there, but several hundred students actually had to postpone this because it was supposed to go last week, but had to delay it due to the severe weather threat. So to everybody over at Spring Station Middle School, all the sixth graders there in Spring Hill, thank you very much. And I thank you very much for this great t-shirt, which on the back says "Stronger as One." Right now at 6:20, let's head over to Dave. Good morning.
Good slogan. I like that. We looked in here a couple of minutes ago on the T-Dot Smartway camera shot. This is I-24 at Haywood Lane there on the southeast side of town. This car was blocking traffic over in the left lane. T-Dot on the scene. They have now moved it over to the Haywood Lane exit ramp there, so it's a little hazard for the exit ramp, but the good news is the I-24 traffic headed to the west flowing much better now. Good flow on the west side. We checked the 4440 junction out there. No problems to see on that shot. Sky 5 HD checking out where Broadway crosses the South Loop, I-40 in the downtown area. You see traffic not that heavy on any of those roadways just yet, so everything moving fine there. Couple of issues on our map. Still got the crash way down on I-24. That's just about completely out of the way between Epps Mill Road and Joe B. Jackson Parkway. Got another crash here on the south side in Tusculum on McMurray Drive near Hilson, so just be aware, Metro Police in that area. The report's brought to you by Carnival Kia. The time is 6:21. We are on time traffic. Back to the desk.
All right, thank you.
Starbucks gets a very big jolt, and a major fast food chain hopes to get customers in a little bit earlier in the day.
Alexis Christophers tells us about who's serving up breakfast plans in this morning's business news.
The Dow is less than 100 points away from its highest close since the 2008 financial crisis. Weaker reports on housing and economic growth reversed an early gain on Wall Street. The Dow finished down 22 points. The Nasdaq gave back 13. Stocks were pulled lower on news that new home sales dropped 2.2% in December. That helped to clinch 2011 as the worst year on record for new home sales. Mortgage rates inched up from an all-time low this past week. According to Freddie Mac, the average rate for a 30-year fixed loan rose to 3.98% from 3.88%. The 30-year rate has been below 4% for 8 straight weeks. Starbucks says quarterly profits jumped 10% on record sales of $3.6 billion. The coffee chain also plans to open 800 new stores worldwide this year. And another fast food restaurant is jumping on the breakfast bandwagon. Taco Bell is introducing a breakfast menu this week at about 800 of its restaurants in 14 states. It hopes to serve breakfast burritos and hash browns nationwide in all of its stores by 2014. Breakfast has become the most important meal of the day for restaurants. It accounts for nearly all of the industry's growth in the past 5 years. And that's your Money Watch. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. I'm Alexis Christophers for News Channel 5 this morning.
All right, and still ahead, speaking of eating, a case of dining and dashing in one local town.
Wait until you hear how the waitress sprang into action. But first, here's Dave.
Thank you, Amy. 6:23 now on your Friday morning. We go back to Sky 5 HD to check in with our buddy Chris Boston.
Hey, good morning to you. You know, if you're a jazz fan, you'll want to head to the Frisk Center tonight. There is a free concert in the lobby. Amanda Contreras is a young vocalist who loves jazz and has been impressing jazz enthusiasts with her talent for the past few years. The concert is free and it starts tonight at 6 o'clock. Really should be something you might want to check out. I'm Chris Bostic of Carnival Kia, live from Sky 5 in high definition.
Good morning, everybody. Right now, around the Mid-South, cloudy skies out there. Still a mist. Sky 5 is up for us this morning, and it looks like every now and then, with a certain camera angle, you might see a little mist on the lens out there. We see that from time to time on Sky Cam. But through the day, the cloud cover's starting to break. This is radar now. Not much showing up on radar from around the area, but the good news is you can start to see the clearing line near the Tennessee River over in West Tennessee. So for today, 50 degrees tonight. We're down to 35 for tomorrow, 47, 49 Sunday, 55 Monday, and around 58 on a Tuesday. Right now at 5:26, let's get a traffic check from Dave. Good morning.
Good morning, Leland. Only active crash scene Metro Police are working is on the south side where Sky 5 HD is. Over on the east side of town, no problems to speak of. Over around the Silliman Evans Bridge, looking at traffic coming in on the 40-24 combination there, headed toward the bridge of the South Loop, and you see a steady stream of headlights rolling, but certainly less than a speed limit roll. Down on our map, that one crash in Tusculum is McMurray Drive near a Wilkerson. Just be aware of that in that area. And of course, we're going to hear more about the Egner Ferry Bridge collapse. Your detour, Highway 435 on the east side, Highway 641 on the west side, or maybe I-24 as you try to get around the land between the lakes over there where the bridge is down. Our report of on-time traffic is brought to you by Carnival Kia. 6:27 right now. More on that news and others as we continue in just a moment.
Good morning, everybody. Our top story, 2 breaking stories this morning for you on News Channel 5 this morning.
We are live where a ship has crashed into a Kentucky bridge and the bridge has collapsed. Live report straight ahead.
From your news and information leader, Tennessee's first local news in high definition. This is News Channel 5 this morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Amy Watson. Glad you're with us.
I'm Steve Hayslip. We are monitoring these 2 breaking stories you're looking at right now on your screen. Down to the lower left, the bridge collapse out of Kentucky, and at Nissan on the upper right of your screen, the death of a worker at that Nissan plant in Smyrna.
We're going to get the latest on both of those stories live in just a moment. But first, let's head straight to Leland.
All right, a lot going on around the Mid-South for you on this morning, but it is the end of the week and it is a good Friday morning, and we'll send that shout out to Christy Bartlett watching this morning from the Clay County area, Salina. She hit me up on Facebook a bit earlier, so to you and your family, we thank you for your support. Let's show you what's happening on Sky Cam right now here in the Music City. At this hour, it's 41 degrees. Here's Sky 5 right now. Sky 5 live over downtown Nashville, and it's got the cloudy conditions across the Mid-South. Show you what's happening on radar. Storm 5 HD Doppler now. All quiet, just a little mist, maybe a passing sprinkle. Your forecast for today: 39 at 8:45 at noon, 49 at 4 p.m. Our winds today northwest at 10. More weather coming your way in just a moment, but right now 6:31, almost 6:32. Let's head over to Steve.
All right, Leland, thank you very much. And we want to get you now the very latest on that breaking news out of Kentucky. The bridge has collapsed after being struck by a giant cargo ship. Now, we're talking about the Egner Ferry Bridge. It's at U.S. Highway 68 and Kentucky Highway 80. News Channel 5's Tim Wetzel has been on the scene throughout the morning. We're starting now to see a little bit of daylight, and we can clearly see that ship behind you. What a mess they've got on their hands, Tim.
Oh, and Steve, it is amazing when you think that nobody was hurt in this massive accident. You can see the scene behind me. Now the sun's starting to come up a little bit. We can get a better perspective on what it looks like. You can see the part of the bridge collapsed on top of this ship here, the Delta Mariner. Again, authorities say, we are extremely lucky nobody was hurt or killed. A huge section of the Egner Ferry Bridge is now a mangled piece of metal. The 80-year-old Kentucky landmark collapsed after a large ship slammed into it. 4 drivers happened to be passing over it when the 300-foot span plunged below. They were able to stop just before reaching the edge.
We're very fortunate that the vehicles that were on the bridge were able to see what was happening and stop in time, or else we could have had not only a lot of injuries but a lot of fatalities.
Now the Coast Guard is trying to figure out what caused the Delta Mariner to clip the bridge. The 300-foot vessel was hauling rocket parts for NASA, and investigators say given the high lake levels, it had no business trying to clear the bridge.
We believe due to the high water levels that and possibly some other human contributing factors, the vessel struck the bridge structure itself.
The ship's captain and 19 other crew members on board were not hurt. Now the bridge, which carries 2,800 cars a day, will be closed not just for months, but for years. And this bridge is a major connector for people in this region. Many of the students and faculty members at Murray State University use it to get to and from their campus every day. Well, now it's going to be closed for possibly years, and this is going to be a huge inconvenience for the people in this area. But again, folks here are just happy that nobody was hurt in this terrible accident. We're live here in Trigg County, Kentucky. Tim Wetzel, News Channel 5 HD.
All right, Tim, thank you. Those 4 people on the bridge, so lucky that they didn't go over, and then they warned others on both sides not to go any further so that they wouldn't get hurt. So yeah, an amazing night overall.
Yeah, big thank you to those people.
Exactly.
All right, we want to talk a little bit more right now about the boat that hit the bridge.
It is a motor vessel Delta Mariner. The container ship is 3 stories and 50 feet tall. It's about 312 feet long and 82 feet wide.
It is massive. The ship can cruise, though, in waters as shallow as 9 feet. It was built to ferry Boeing Delta IV rockets, and we're talking a massive ship, and when it hit that bridge, it just took part of that bridge right down with it.
Yes, and according to WKDZ Radio, as I was reading and getting an update from them, the radio station in Cadiz nearby, they said their report was there was nothing hazardous on the rockets were empty, and they were also reporting that is not going to be a problem, at least in cleanup and in part of that investigation. So I think that's a concern of what could have fallen into the water.
That and no injuries, double blessing there.
Exactly.
All right, we're also getting some new information into our newsroom this morning concerning the death of that Nissan plant employee down in Smyrna.
News Channel 5's Janet Kim live for us at the plant right now. And Janet, Nissan has just released a statement to you.
That's right, and I just got off the phone with the Nissan representative who says that a press conference could happen here within the hour. But in the meantime, this is the statement that Nissan has released at this time. Quote, "Our deepest sympathies go out to the family of the individual involved, and that the safety and well-being of our employees is Nissan's top priority, and it will work with authorities to fully investigate what happened with a focus on helping to prevent future occurrences." Now, we know the incident happened around 1:30 this morning. According to Smyrna police, an outside delivery worker was killed at the Nissan Smyrna plant. Now, we're told that this driver did not work here at Nissan. He was hit, though, by his own delivery truck, possibly the size of a semi. Nissan has confirmed that he's not an employee, but that he works for the supplier here at Nissan with a supplying transportation company. Now, back out live, they have yet to release the identity of that worker at this time. We're told they are still trying to contact the next of kin. But again, we could get an update here within the hour. That is the last word I got from a Nissan representative. For now, though, we are live here in Smyrna. Janet Kim, News Channel 5 HD.
All right, Janet, thank you for that. In other news this morning, it's been more than a week since police found a U-Haul cram-packed with dogs. This morning, all of them are well on their way to recovery. Animal caregivers have been working hard to get the dogs ready for adoption. When police found them last week, most were too frightened to move, but now they're out walking around and being social, they say. Rescuers say they hope to have most of the animals ready for adoption by the end of next week.
A Tennessee lawmaker is causing controversy in New York this morning after threatening New York drivers traveling through Tennessee. East Tennessee Representative Frank Nicely put the warning at the end of a resolution that he wants to pass. It's in response to the arrest of a Tennessee medical student, Meredith Graves, at Ground Zero. In December, she was taken into custody there having a gun, even though she does have a Tennessee carry permit. Nicely wants New York's mayor to drop the charges, and he says the warning for drivers is to watch it in Tennessee. It was used, he says, as an attention grabber.
He certainly meant that in jest, and that was really just to spotlight and get the attention, and it's worked. It has gotten some attention in New York, and I think he was just trying to send them a message.
The resolution has no legal weight and still has to make it out of committee before it can go to the floor for an official vote.
The National Weather Service is reaching out to the deaf and hearing impaired to make sure they stay safe during severe weather. On Thursday, the Weather Service teamed up with the Nashville area chapter of the American Red Cross to offer a special weather spotter training class. It is the first one in the country geared toward the hearing impaired. They learned everything from the definitions of warnings and watches to how to identify important cloud features in developing storms. Organizers say it also gives the deaf a sense of empowerment.
It's just encouraging for people to learn in the future, and I encourage, more of these to be offered because you never know.
The National Weather Service in Nashville says its Facebook page is a great resource for the hearing impaired. To check it out or learn more, just go to newschannel5.com and click on the news links bar.
Pretty cool. I loved seeing the interview where the sign language was going on. I wish I knew sign language.
I wish I did too. I know
a couple of things, but not enough.
And what a great opportunity for the National Weather Service to connect and help more people.
Yeah, good point. All right, let's find out how the weather and traffic are shaping up right now. Here's Dave.
Yes, indeed. Checking in with Sky 5 HD on the north side, up around Fern Avenue there, the split of I-65 across the bridge to Metro Center, I-24 down the east bank, and you see all the lanes are full of lights and the traffic is flowing right along. That's good news for us. On our map, the crash down on McMurray Drive, they've now called an ambulance to this scene, so there apparently are injuries involved. That's McMurray around Wilkerson down in the Tusculum area. That's the only crash we have working in Nashville right now, but so much conversation about the bridge collapse, the Egner Ferry Bridge over on the west side of the land between the lakes, sort of between LBL and Kinlake State Park there in Kentucky. Highway 435 through the land between the lakes park is the detour on the Trigg County side. 641 on the Marshall County side. Both of those will take you up almost to I-24. You can connect those two and come back down and get around it, or you can just take I-24 if that suits your needs, but you're going to get used to that detour because it's going to be a while before they get that bridge thing straightened out there from the looks of things. Tim will continue to report on that one for us. On the TDOT SmartWay cameras right now, we see slippery spots here or there. You just want to be a little extra careful. This is I-40 at White Ridge Road, Briley Parkway over on the west side of town. We see inbound headlights flowing well. I-40 at Donaldson Pike out by the airport. It's the taillights that are headed inbound on this shot. Pretty colors, and you can see them starting to hit the brakes there as they merge, but it's still very good flow from the east side. The report of on-time traffic this time brought to you by Carnival Kia. It's 6:40 right now on your Friday. Here's Leland.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. Right now around the Mid-South, we've got cloudy skies across the area. Let's talk forecast for you today. Cooler than yesterday. At mid-morning, we're going to be right around the 42-degree mark for the afternoon hours. High of around 50 degrees, and then for tonight, we're down to 35 degrees. Here is a look at Sky 5 for you this morning. Sky 5 in flight over the Mid-South. We've got cloudy skies, as you can see there, with the Renaissance and the Pinnacle and part of Bridgestone Arena there. But through the morning hours, this will gradually pull out of our area. For the Mid-South right now, with Storm 5 HD Doppler tapping into 5 radars now from around the Southland. A couple of sprinkles, a little mist, but the rain for the most part has pulled out It's 41 now out of the Gallatin area. I take a look at the temperatures now. It's a little cooler for us this morning. 30s over West Tennessee and Western Kentucky. For us, upper 40s, upper 30s, and lower 40s across the Mid-South. Highs today make the upper 40s to lower 50s. So a little chilly for you. You need a little heavier coat on the ride into school this morning. Temperatures between about 37 and 41. For the bus ride home a little bit later in the day, temperatures this afternoon between about 47 and 52. Got an email from Jada Lattimore telling me that her daughter, Leandria Lattimore, is a 4th grader at Smithson Craighead Academy Elementary. They've actually got a separate school now for the middle school, but Leandria is a student in the 4th grade in Mrs. Jackson and Mr. Patton's classroom, and she wanted her school to be the school of the day. So there you have it. Leandria, thank you very much for starting your morning with us. You'll look at your 7-day forecast in a moment. It's 6:42.
Welcome back, everybody. 6:45. More breaking news to tell you about. Sky 5 en route right now to the fire that you see the smoke coming up right now from. This is along Murfreesboro Pike. It is south of Bell Road.
Yeah, David Park, of course, is in Sky 5 HD right now for us as they do make their way almost over the scene right now. He's gathering information. We'll check in with him in just a minute.
And that might create some traffic problems along Murfreesboro Pike coming in from the Murfreesboro area, Smyrna, Laverne as well. Let's check in with Dave Nichols. He'll have the very latest for us right now on that.
Absolutely. We're talking about this area right down here, Murfreesboro Pike, on the south or southeast side of Bell Road right there. A number of businesses in that stretch. We'll check back to Sky 5 here in a second. The other crash you have working is an injury crash, McMurray Drive near Wilkerson down in Tusculum on the south side of town. Let's go back to the Sky 5 HD shot. They're working their way down there to the south, but lots and lots of smoke. I think you see the traffic here. I believe that's Murfreesboro Pike, and here's the scene of the fire right over here just off Murfreesboro Pike. So they'll have a complete report for us as they get to the scene and we can find out what is going on there. TDOT Smartway camera shots for us right now showing fairly normal traffic flow. This is Vietnam Vets just west of I-65. You see traffic out of Sumner County headed down past Conference Drive there, and everything seems to be working okay until you get to right here, and then you start seeing all these brake lights. So it's going to be a slow transition around the big ramp there, but traffic is still moving, not backing up. The backing up part comes when you get to Trinity Lane, because those folks are going to run into this. This is the camera there right at Trinity Lane, and you see the southbound lanes of 65, eastbound lanes of I-24. Very, very slow motion there right now. That's totally about traffic volume, so be aware of that one. And we'll be checking back with Sky 5, I think, momentarily. Our report's brought to you by Carnival Kia. 6:47 now. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, been a busy morning, huh?
It has been.
Incredible.
Yeah, all right. Hey, we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but yesterday, Newsboys, they were hanging with the Weather Boy yesterday on Talk of the Town. Got a big concert going on this weekend. It's at the Franklin Theater in downtown Franklin there, but a great group of guys on the show yesterday, so check out their benefit concert this coming Saturday, tomorrow, down at the Franklin Theater. And Amy tells me they're hitting to Hopkinsville, too.
Right. First Baptist Church in March. So
in March, all right.
If you don't get to see them at Franklin, come see us.
All right, so got several chances for you to see them. I'll show you what's going on right now around the Mid-South. Your forecast for today, as we look ahead to the weekend, we've got cloudy skies and colder weather around the Mid-South for you this morning. As we work our way through the weekend, there is a little bit of a light shower chance or a flurry chance tomorrow morning, but temperatures for the weekend are going to be seasonable, with our normal high average high being right around 47. For the Mid-South today, look for a temperature of about 41 at 9 a.m. At noon today, we'll make our way to right around 45, and at 3 o'clock, about 49 degrees. Here's the scene now for you from Nashville. It's 41 at this hour with a wind west, northwest at around 12, 61 and about 43, the high and low for yesterday, 0.64 in the rain gauge. All quiet this morning, maybe a little mist in a couple of spots, maybe a few sprinkles out there, but no major issues. But we tap in now to the power of 5, and all that rain we were seeing yesterday has now made its way out of the area. Here's the satellite and radar now past several hours. You can see the rain moving away. Looks like the clearing line is right here along the Tennessee River for us this morning. So let's talk about what we can expect for today. We'll run exact track, and across the Mid-South today, a little bit of cloud cover for you for the morning hours, with the clouds breaking from west to east. Tonight, partly cloudy, and then as we go late in the night, clouds on the increase. Here comes a fast-moving system now. Exact track may be overdoing the coverage because the moisture for this thing to work with is going to be limited in the first place, but maybe just enough for a few light showers in the morning, or maybe a couple of passing snow flurries out there. And then going through the day, temperatures in the 40s for you tomorrow. As we work our way towards Sunday, there's another quick little system that may brush the northeastern areas there, but behind it, also temperatures in the upper 40s to around the 50-degree mark, and then a nice little warming trend as we go into the end of January and the beginning of February next week. For today, 50 degrees and a wind northwest at around 5 to 10. Your 7-day forecast: 47 tomorrow, 49 Sunday, 55 on Monday, 58 Tuesday. Rain chance coming in here by Wednesday. Time right now is about 6:50. Let's head back over to the news desk.
All right, thank you.
And we want to get you an update now on that breaking news out of Murfreesboro Road, the Hickory Hollow area.
Yeah, Sky 5, of course, is on the scene. As we've shown you, David Park is high above. David, what can you tell us? What are we looking at?
Well, trailer park just on the northeast corner of Murfreesboro Road and Bell Road. There's Murfreesboro Bell, and here is the trailer. You see the crews on the scene. They've done a pretty good job of knocking down this fire pretty quickly. A lot more. We arrived on the scene. It's much diminished at this on the scene, and there's going to be a lot of damage to this trailer, unfortunately. Haven't heard about the occupants. Don't know if anyone was injured in gather that information, but right now we see crews on the scene doing a pretty good job of trying to knock this down as quickly as possible, but it's going to be a lot of damage to that trailer, unfortunately. Now, Murfreesboro Road traffic unaffected. It's well off the major thoroughfares through here, so it should not be adversely affecting traffic at all. Sky 5 HD.
David, thank you.
All right, apologize for the audio problems there. We'll be right back in just a moment.